All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Merely Bo, the Great Z, and at 2:30 in the chair to my right, if you're watching on the stream, Kevin Stefanski.
Oh, baby, that's exciting. Oh, yeah, that's why that chair's there. Look at it, ready to go. We already got the wide shot ready because we got a lot going on, a lot of hustle, a lot of bustle on a Wednesday, a First Friday, if as it were, here, because today was media day again for the Cleveland Browns, the final week of OTAs, and then we'll have the mandatory minicamp starting next week. But today is also, you have to think it's a joyous day in Browns land because there was some big news today. It's a big news First Friday.
It is a big news First
BNFF.
Friday. Nothing shocking.
No, nothing
formality, but fantastic news. Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski signed contract extensions to remain here. Here are the comments from our principal partners and owner, Dee and Jimmy Haslam. We're incredibly fortunate to have Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry leading the Cleveland Browns. Since the day they were hired, each has worked tirelessly to help the Cleveland Browns win. We're proud of what they and the team have achieved, but Kevin and Andrew would be the first to say that Browns fans deserve even more. Their leadership and collaborative approach and ability to overcome obstacles bode well for the future of this franchise. Let me ask you this.
Please.
Kevin Stefanski is the first Browns coach to get a second contract since whom? I don't know the answer.
I do.
You do.
Do you know the answer, Gibbe?
To get a second contract?
Yes, or an extension.
Maybe.
It was not. I don't know that it was announced publicly, but yes, I believe that it was Hugh Jackson.
Because of the way that the tenure started,
yeah.
that it was a. That was a.
Well, because it was a. I mean, it was
yeah,
a very tough situation.
Very,
it was not
very
a
difficult.
situation that was necessarily conducive to a great deal of winning early on.
No.
Yeah, so
that's probably it. Now,
before that,
and that one was done for reasons different than
yes.
a traditional second contract,
yeah.
which is usually given by the merit of the football team.
Correct.
Is that like Marty?
I don't know.
Bud Carson,
did Butch get a
Belichick.
second one?
Did Butch? I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know. It's the first thing I thought when I saw the news today.
Yep.
Who is the last time that who are the last general manager and coach of this franchise that got a second contract?
I can tell you
as soon as I asked the question, I remembered the Hugh thing because of the circumstances of the first 2 years.
Yep.
So but that was different.
Very different
in terms of the
and
merit.
it was not
It wasn't public. That I remember it being a big deal being made.
No,
about
and it was not. It also was not coach and GM. There was turnover in terms of coach GM together getting a second contract together. You got to go in the Wayback Machine, is my guess.
Yeah, I would think.
So they've had the best winning percentage over a 4-year period since '86 to '89. So my guess is that you're looking in that era would be the last time that something like this happened.
I can tell you from a longevity standpoint, it's the longest since Belichick.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
then Butch wouldn't have got a second contract.
No, Butch was only 3 years. It was 01 to 04. He was fired during the 04 season.
I don't know if Marty got an extension.
Marty was 84 to 88.
Yeah, remember Marty wanted to be OC, and
I don't remember it, but I'll take your word for it.
Modell wanted him to give up like the offensive play calling duties, and then they were at an impasse, and Marty said, "I'm out. I'm walking away. I'm going to KC."
It might have been Sam.
Might have been.
I mean, I'm just looking at this. Sam was here from 78 to 84. You would think that you would sign a 6-year contract to be a head coach, but Marty was only 84 through 88. Bud was just 89 and 90. Then Belichick was 91 to 95. And then everybody from that point on, I mean, Palmer was 99, 2000. Butch was 01 to 04. Cornell 05 to 08. Mangini 09, 010. Shermer 11 and 12. Chubb just the 1 year. Pettin 14 and 15. Hugh 16 through 18, half of 18.
Taking me to a dark place, Bo.
No, but this is the point. It's the point of the exercise. This is what I was thinking about coming in today about all of this. When the Haslams bought the franchise, you knew that they were serious people in terms of what they wanted this to be.
Yep.
Right? Jimmy was with the Steelers and that ownership, and he saw how to do it, and he has relentlessly pursued stability.
Stability.
At his own financial loss. because he's paid a lot of coaches to not coach over the years.
Yes.
And I always gave them a great deal of credit of that because when something's not good, they were fine getting out from under it quickly.
Yep.
And I think when you look at the various coaches that have been hired and fired during the tenure, they acted correctly in those instances. But what they've always wanted was a match of their commitment financially to what it took to win with a stability in the front office and the coaching staff. And they finally have it.
Right.
They've found it.
Which is all they've been looking for. And
Yeah.
I referenced that. I did a 2-minute drill, and that was kind of what I was saying, is that that's the model that they came up into this league in. And that's what they saw, stability and sustained success going hand in hand. And we finally have had the success that has merited the stability. And so that I think is a very exciting day for the Cleveland Browns. I really do. This organization is in as good a spot as it has been in my 13 seasons here. You talk to players, and I just did with Zadarius, like, couldn't wait to come back and be a Cleveland Brown. Couldn't wait to be back here. He's like, this is voluntary. He's like, I love being here. I love it.
It's the best it's been since the late 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
So, and I think what you're going to start to see as Browns fans, you're going to see the benefit of continuity and stability in the general manager and head coach position, which allows for you to draft for fit.
Yep.
It allows for you to draft for personality. You're not warring with one another. I want this guy. I want this guy. Kevin and Andrew, Kevin was hired first. They knew of each other in that Andrew was in on the interview with Kevin from the year before, but there was no previous history. But and we've had them both on a ton through the years. They're the same dude, man.
Yep.
They view things the same way. And Paul, over the top of it, they're over all of it. So this is going to allow everything that you've wanted and looked at longingly in Baltimore and Pittsburgh, you now have.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly and that was the goal to get there, because those two things that you mentioned, unfortunately, in our division, but those are two gold standard franchises in the National Football League. Those are two that are regarded as, this is the model, this is what you want to be in the NFL, and they've done it at a very, very high level for a very long time because of that. And so that's something that the Browns were, I think, rightfully trying to emulate.
It was the only thing that was lacking. You have the history, you have the brand, you have the fan base, you have the passion. The only thing that this operation was lacking was the winning and the stability, and now you have both.
Yeah, exactly right.
So this group will see the transition as some of our guys in our prime right now age. This group will now oversee the transition to the next era.
Yep.
And this is something that Pittsburgh and Baltimore have done so successfully for 20 years, is one era begets another.
Yep.
But the winning stays. The winning stays. And that's it sucks, to your point, that they're in the division, but you finally have that. I think this is a huge day. I mean, I think it's not breaking news in the sense that
we knew it was
we're
coming.
Shocked. No one's shocked. Everyone knew it was coming. It was a formality. The one dude's the 2-time NFL Coach of the Year already.
The only one in franchise history.
Right. He's won it twice. So you knew all of that. You knew it was coming. But just to have pen put to paper, it's a big day. It's a big day.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in people's lives where you're like, okay, this is a good idea. It's going to happen. But until it happens, it hasn't happened yet. It reminds me of something that my lacrosse coach once said to me in high school. He said, Zagura, you don't score till you score.
No, you don't. That's true.
And it's like, you know what?
You're
right.
wrong.
Yeah, you're right.
You're not wrong.
And then the assistant coach was like, till you score.
Till you score.
Yeah.
Did you buy him as an alpha?
Ostriker?
Yeah.
Big, good-looking guy in high school. I could see him as a high school alpha, but then I would
But
also...
like relentlessly pursuing the choir chick?
I could see him as a high school alpha who might have, like... I don't even remember what the name of their high school was that they went to.
East Great Falls, I think.
East Great Falls, who could have, like... He could have, like, an East Great Falls lax and then his number on license plate. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
do you think that someone who checks the boxes that Ostriker checks would be in the predicament that the movie is based on? The fulcrum of the movie is based on a pact Do you feel like he would be eligible for that pact?
No, he would have been long out of the pact.
Way in the rearview mirror.
Junior year at the latest.
Way back.
Yeah.
Way back.
Agreed. I agree with that.
That's the last day of school. No, that's like the last quarter.
Yeah, it's last. Yeah, but
Probably, right?
The
Like
end.
the last month.
Yeah.
Near the end.
Yeah. So this is funny. Ended up watching because of our discussion. Can't Hardly Wait.
Oh, yeah.
And I had seen the day before, I had seen Korsmo at the 8th grade moving up dinner, or maybe it was even at the graduation, but I'd seen Korsmo right before and told him of our discussion and how Can't Hardly Wait was like, brought other people were like, no, you guys have to give Can't Hardly Wait its due, and got it in there. And so I took a picture and sent it to him from when he, they did actually I didn't remember that they did this, where they kind of zoom in on everybody and then they do like a picture of them, who their name is, what they are, like, so he played the valedictorian, National Merit Scholar, and they gave their favorite quote. It was kind of like right out of their high school yearbook, right? And I wrote, so it was Friday night, so it was after the graduation. I said Friday night cinema. And I told him that on our thing we had Dazed and Confused, Super Bad, and I think American Pie were the top 3.
Yes.
Correct.
And that I said, well, Can't Hardly Wait got a lot of support to be, on the Mount Rushmore. And so I sent him the picture, and he wrote back 4th greatest with an exclamation point, which I thought was hysterical and very, very Korsmo. But yeah,
I think that movie,
it holds up. I was highly entertained.
here's why it doesn't hold up the way that Dazed and American Pie and Superbad do, because Embry,
Yes,
he's
a little bit of an albatross.
it's not believable.
No.
And he's not like
If that was Ryan Reynolds,
he's maybe too good,
maybe too good.
too smooth, but there's got to be a dude.
Stifler.
Fine. Yes. There had to be someone that was a little bit more believable to land
Yeah, a little bit of an edge to them.
land Jennifer Love Hewitt in her prime,
Right.
who was queen of the high school.
By the way, Peter
You know what I mean?
Facinelli,
Yes.
I guess there is only need for one Tom Cruise in the world, to be fair, but like the fact that guy didn't make it when he literally is young Tom. I mean, he
Looks
is
just like him. Yeah.
looks like him, talks like he is young Tom Cruise.
Pretty sure he was married to Jenny Garth.
Feels like that would be in
From
play for him.
90210.
Yeah,
I think he's Mike Dexter.
Mike Dexter.
Yeah.
And
Very
he's
good.
him and his boys, kind of the opposite, make a pact to break up with their girlfriends.
Yeah.
And go live. And he does it. And then the other ones say, I don't think I'm going to do that.
It's pretty wild that from that there's not a like Jennifer Love Hewitt is obviously the one who had like the biggest.
You have a lot of people who did a lot of
They did a
things.
lot of stuff. Yeah, they did. But that's the thing with Dazed is like they got all those people before they were people.
No, we're talking about
And the cast
Academy
is
Award winners.
Rocket ship.
Multiple.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Emmy
it is.
winners and all of that. Yeah.
That one that I recommended last night, a lot of people tuned in. They checked it out last night. It's fantastic.
I can't wait to watch
Rave
it.
reviews.
I'm really excited. And
Yeah.
where is it? Where can I get
You'll find
this?
it on the Paramount Plus.
I sure will. I will find it there.
That's where you'll find it.
You better believe it.
OTA number 9 in the books. One more OTA, that is tomorrow, and then mandatory minicamp is next week, and then that is a wrap. Were you out there today?
I was out there today. Yeah, everything.
What can you tell us?
Again, another good day. I think we got to see the kickoff for the first time.
Okay,
It's gonna be a wild play, man.
I saw some of the
It's
people
pretty cool.
posting the videos of it. It. I said this when we had Bubba in. I don't think the fans are fully aware of what's going to happen.
I think that's right. I think you're exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first time it's lined up, they're gonna be like, "Wait, what is this? What are we doing?" Because it's one of those things that until you see it, and I don't know how many people actually saw it
Correct.
in the XFL
Correct.
to know what it all entails.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, and I mean to see guys like Alex Wright and Mike Hall just sprinting down and just like blowing stuff up is wild. Tony Brown's gonna be a stud. I think we're gonna have a very good coverage team and a very good return. I think the advent of that play is going to be an advantage for the Cleveland Browns.
Well, Bubba just lit up
Yes.
with it. I mean, he's so excited to have it.
Because he's got
Yeah, he's got
plans, brother.
He's got plans.
He's got plans, brother.
So there you go. So you got one more, and then next week mandatory minicamp. Then we're done for 6 weeks.
The other thing I was going to say is, obviously Deshaun didn't throw today, so you got a lot of Jameis. It was good to see DTR back out there. DTR's cleared, so that's good news. The guy that, in kind of my observation, and then talking around and corroborating with some people that whose opinions I value greatly, and there are no pads on yet, but the guy that has made the biggest leap from last season to now, and I'll ask Coach Stefanski. I'll do it open-ended and see if he comes up with the same name, is Cedric Tillman. Cedric Tillman looks like a completely different player. He knows the playbook now. He knows what he's supposed to be doing, knows why he's supposed to be doing what he's doing, and he's playing fast. And he looks, he's out of central casting. He looks the part, and now he's doing it, and Elijah's playing very well.
Boy, that would be something.
Yes,
because he has a skill set and a body type that we don't have, and he is, if he can be that, he can be a Donovan Peoples-Jones type, or maybe even better, if he can be that. And DPJ was really good. All DPJ did was catch everything thrown his way. Everything. So if you
There's
can
so many
do
games
that,
we don't win without DPJ
over
the last few years.
Come on. It's crazy. Yeah, no, he was so clutch. So
I miss him.
I do too. I liked him a lot. If he can do that and be that, that's a game changer.
It's a massive game changer.
Yeah, that would be big news. So
Agreed.
we'll have Coach in here at 2:30 to discuss the new contract, and he's got an event, right? He's under the lights. That's tomorrow night.
Yeah, he's got events coming up tomorrow night, and then also next Thursday as well, which is for the Keepers Foundation. That's going to be their big fundraiser. Going to be some auctions. I'm going to be there. I'll be presiding over the live auction events.
Have you ever done an auction?
I have many. I've done it for the Browns Foundation.
Solo?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Do you go?
Yeah,
do you go
for the Browns Foundation.
Do you do that?
I don't mumble like that, but I sell the item very strongly,
put on
multiple times.
You're the best
little
Don
charm,
Draper,
and then I'm Mr. Eye Contact, especially when you get a one-on-one situation.
Yeah. Give me this.
Yeah. Huh? You gonna let him just take this from you?
He's taking it.
I'm just gonna take it.
Where's your manhood?
Yeah, let's go. Let's get ready.
The other note from OTAs, DeJuan with the first team?
Yeah, he has been since he's been out there. So
Thanos?
Yeah, Thanos back, looking good.
That feels formality, right? Yeah, he's a stud. A couple other moves. Lucas Haversick.
Yep, kicker.
There you go. He's been cut. Brady Breeze is in, a safety.
There you go.
Hell of a name.
It is good.
Brady Breeze?
Yeah.
That's pretty
Hell
good.
of a name.
Yeah.
I'll give you something else that stood out to me today from being out there.
Go.
Jordan Hicks is built. His legs
dude.
are enormous. Enormous.
So, Hicksy, let me think.
Enormous.
He has to be. When did you say Brown was in the same class as Miles?
Yep.
Hicks has got to be right around there. And Hicks was the number one player in the state of Ohio his senior year. He went to Kettering Alter. He is. Then he went to Texas.
He's an athlete.
He is a dude. Big time.
Dude.
So there's a lot of that.
31 years of age.
So he's older than
he's
Miles.
Texas
older.
from 2010 through 2014.
Yeah. So he's older. But he was he was a 5-star kid out of Alter. I'm almost sure of it.
I mean, that's the least surprising thing ever.
Yep. Former Browns coach Bill Callahan wins the 2024 Dr. Z Award for Lifetime Achievement. Assistant coaches by Professional Writers of America. Steve Spagnuolo also won the award. I'll miss Bill, obviously.
Yes.
I mean, that guy's an all-timer. Maybe the best
great.
offensive line coach ever.
Yeah, he's great.
So there you go.
There you go. There it is.
All right. And you got potentially we could have some people dropping by. We could go to the podium at any point. If there's,
I like it.
there are
We're
people.
loaded up. This is a big show.
That's the way that it goes. So we're off and running here, kids. Champions League, the free gaming community for Browns fans around the world. Visit clevelandbrowns.com/Champions League to join in on the fun now. Those were your hot topics of the day presented by University Hospitals. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, let's go right to the podium. Nick Chubb.
You guys are down.
During this time of rehab.
It's definitely motivating to come out here and see the guys practicing. I want to get out there and help them, and I want to be a part of this team. So it definitely motivates me to get back.
I know you're close with Stump. What are your impressions of this day?
Yeah, I was blessed to have two great coaches, here on the Browns, and I definitely will miss Stump. We stay in touch. He's a great person, a great coach, and just overall great guy. And also with Deuce, he brings the energy. He's every day he's himself. He loves the game. He loves to coach us, and he's doing a great job. He's going to help us out a lot, not just the running backs, but the entire team.
You were around it. Sorry. Go ahead, Kelsey.
So even though you obviously aren't out there practicing, but you being in the game and everything, how important is that for you through this process?
It's important. I haven't played football since last September, so just to be around, just to see the plays, get my mind back on football. I think it's important for me, just as a football player, to be around football more.
You were around the guys last year, but how hard was it, Nick, to not be on the field and not be able to contribute?
Yeah, it was tough. It's always hard not being able to, to play the game with your guys who you go through camp with, spring with. But, our team did a great job of, no matter who was down, next man up, and continue to play.
Nick, what did it mean to you for, that Thursday night game, coming back into the stadium, being able to smash the guitar in front of that home crowd? What did that experience mean to you?
It meant a lot. I told the guys I'm doing my part. We all got to do our part. That's Thursday night game. I did my part, and the guys did the rest.
Nick, from a business standpoint, what did it mean to you that Andrew and the front office worked to keep you around another year?
Yeah, definitely a blessing. They could have just cut me dry and left me hanging, right? But they did a great job. I want to be here in Cleveland. They know that. So we came to a great point.
Nick, how confident are you that you can get back to being the player you have been?
Yeah, we'll see. It's not my first time going through this, so been through it before. But my whole goal is to get back out there.
Nick, do you thrive in these situations, just like sort of your hero Batman, where people count you out and they don't believe that you're ever going to be able to get back to that level, and then you kind of get motivated by that?
I use that as motivation. I see everything. I've seen, it's not the first time someone has counted me out. So I've been here before, and I'm not really paying much attention to it, but I do see it, and I'm just focusing on getting better.
You talked about kind of being down in September. When did you kind of round the corner, in terms of kind of emotionally, mentally start to feel better in that regard?
I can't even pinpoint a date. It's all mushed together. I think when I started running, maybe I started kind of getting my mind back on, I'm going to be able to play football again.
Did you ever think you wouldn't be able to?
Never crossed my mind. Been through it before,
Nick, thinking about last year, the reaction from your teammates and how many Nick Chubb shirts and Georgia jerseys and Browns jerseys we saw them wearing, what did that mean to you to kind of have the team rally around you during the table?
Yeah, it was special. The team did a great job of being there for me. I was down, mentally for a while. Just when you get hurt, it's one thing. When you get hurt again, and you already know what you got to go through, the entire process, surgery, rehab, it's a nonstop battle every day. So my team did a great job just being there for me. I was around the building for them, and did a great job, made the playoffs, had a great run.
Deshaun mentioned
I don't think it's a dirty hit at all. I'm not blaming him. It's part of the game.
How much different is this rehab versus year one when you're in Georgia for you?
It's not much different. It's the same process. It's just different ligaments, I guess, but it's pretty much the same.
When we've talked to Deshaun, he has talked about trying to make sure that I just do what the doctors and the trainers tell me I'm allowed to do and not do too much too soon. Do you find yourself fighting yourself of not trying to do too much too soon?
I would say I have great doctors. Voos and UH did a great job of tightening me up down there. So, I'm definitely following Voos and Joe's plan, and Pat Rocks. They're doing a great job of kind of keeping me not so frustrated. But we have a great plan. I'm sticking to it. I'm doing whatever they tell me to do.
Did you have a part of time where you just couldn't believe it happened again? It happened to that same knee?
Yeah, of course, just like kind of asking why, why again. But that's part of my story. It is what it is.
Have you been working anybody individually, specifically that you've been working with through this process? Is there another person that kind of going through it with?
I'll say mostly, Pat Rock, our trainer here, Dale Jones, strength coach. Those two guys around the building. back home, I have my guys I work with. You know, Michael, Chubb, Jeff, and my strength coach, Coach Worthington. You know, it's a team. You know, we're all doing our part, and I, you know, trusting them to get me back.
Did you April, you mentioned you just started running on land. I guess is that still the extent of like what you're able to do at this point, or have you added anything else to that?
Nah, I mean, it's just running. Yeah.
Did you ever hear from Fitzpatrick?
No, I never did. Well, I actually, on the field, he came up to me and I was on the ground, and he said, you know, he didn't mean to do it. So.
How about even the support of your community when you go back home to your high school and Cedartown? How much has that uplifted you throughout this whole process?
Yeah, man, it has a lot. You know, just blessed to be able to come from such a great hometown with so much support from my family and friends, and just able to get back there and to see where, you know, where I started all this journey, and just to, you know, to feel in the atmosphere, you know, just how to use that more motivation to get back.
Nick, how has this affected your routine? Like you're known for all the hard work you put in. I think Andrew said you're here like very early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
What does a day look like for you now?
I mean, it's pretty much the same. You know, I'm just focusing on my knee. So I'm still, you know, here every day, all day like I have been.
You're not squatting, right?
I don't know. A little bit, yeah.
How many hours, though, go into a day through this rehab for you?
I'm not even sure, you know. I'll probably leave it around maybe 3. Got her kind of like at 7 maybe.
It would be hard for you, I think, to be more grateful than you already are to be able to play this game, given what happened at Georgia. But in some ways, does this even multiply that a little bit more to give you just so much gratitude to be out here and going for this again?
It does, you know. It's a blessing to play this game, and you can't take it for granted because, you know, one play can be all taken away. And I'm just blessed to have so much support around Cleveland, you know, the fans, my friends, family, just to keep me uplifted and keep me going.
Nick, the other guys in your room always talk about being excited to learn from you, whether you're on the field or not. Being off the field right now, like you're rehabbing, does that allow you a little bit more hands-on work with these guys to be able to kind of imprint what you do on them?
It does, but I can tell you, Deuce holds everyone accountable in that room, so I don't have to say much at all. He's on it every day. He's making sure we're finishing, working hard, ball security. You know, he takes control.
How much do you see that? Does that night still in Pittsburgh still, you know, kind of play in your mind, or have you kind of, or is that kind of moved on from that?
I moved on. You know, it happened so fast. Anyways, it was a blurry 2 weeks. So I don't think about it much. You know, I'm just moving forward.
Nick, not only were your teammates obviously affected that night, but the Steelers were all talking about you too. How much support did you receive league-wide? There were a lot of guys reaching out to you, and what did that mean?
Yeah, it meant a lot. You know, I had guys tweeting at me all across the NFL. You know, just it shows at the end of the day we're all human and we're all in this together. And you know, injuries they suck, but they do happen. But you know, it's all about, you know, being there for your brother.
Nick, your teammates right away dedicated their whole entire season to you, and then even when other guys got hurt, like the season wasn't dedicated to anybody else but you. So how did that make you feel? Because it seems like it really helped them get to the playoffs.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just being around a building. You know, I probably don't say much, but you know, I come on the field and on a game day, you know, I just work, and I think guys notice that, and they start to see that. And you know, when I wasn't there, you know, you saw more guys, you know, doing a little extra more just because, and it helped us out.
Naeem's kind of going through, you know, come back from his own knee injury. How much have you guys sort of worked together since he's got here?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we rehab together, we work out together, and he's in a great spot. You know, he's doing great, and you know, he'll be a big part of this team.
You talk about your presence on the team helping your teammates. How did that help you personally as you go through this journey?
What was that?
Just being here at the facility, like you put in the time here. How did that help you?
It helped me a lot. You know, just like I said earlier, being around the game, being around the guys, and watching them go out there and, you know, win these games and practice hard. You know, all that definitely motivated me to get stronger and get better and to get back out there.
Nick, maybe not the timetable on your return, but when you look at everything that you've been through, continue to go through, does it almost give you like an anxious feel to want to get back out there, but also, like you say, take it one day at a time? It's kind of a mixture, but does it make you more eager to get out?
Not necessarily. You know, I'm doing everything I can at this point. You know, I'm right where I want to be. And when that time happens, when I feel great, I'll be on the field. But until then.
At Georgia, you did play the first game the next year, right?
Mm.
Does it feel similar?
We'll see. I don't know.
Good.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Nick. Good to see you.
All right, there you go. Nick Chubb, for the first time since the injury in Pittsburgh, addressing the media and everything around that. A lot to dig into on that. We'll do that as the program goes along. Coming up next, though, Greg Newsome here in the studio. He's in the wings waiting, so we'll get Greg in here coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back in. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. The Cavalcade of Stars. We heard Nick Chubb at the podium. First time since the injury in Pittsburgh that night that Nick has addressed the media. So we had that. And then in studio, great friend of the program, Greg Newsome.
Yes.
In studio with us, fresh off the practice field. How you doing, man? How's the 1 day left of OTAs tomorrow and then mandatory and then some time? How's the OTA portion been for you?
Man, it's been great. It's just crazy now. Just I played so much football that a lot of the stuff is becoming easier, like just route recognition, a lot of those things. Like I know what to expect. So I think I've been having a great OTA so far.
We've been hearing so much about option routes and choice routes, and so that's something that maybe we haven't seen as much from your standpoint. But I won today. I know Elijah ran kind of a little out, stick back in, and you were right there, broke it up. Talk a little smack right there. Yeah. So is that fun to be challenged in different ways, maybe even from our own offense, from what you've seen in the past?
Yeah, for sure. And Elijah knows, man. Every single time we're about to start 7-on-7, he says, "Let's work." Iron sharpens iron. So we definitely love that battle. And yeah, they run a lot of more different routes. So it's good coming into OTAs and not having the exact same offense that I've seen for the past 3 seasons. So, we have to also adjust. We can't just sit on routes because they run a lot of different stuff now. So, that's great to see.
And I would imagine just from the iron sharpens iron, like that Jerry's all about that. I mean, he's got to be one of the twitchiest guys you'll ever see. So in terms of the work that's being done with your room, which I think you could make an argument it's the best cornerback room in the entire National Football League.
Yes, strong.
And then you take a look at now what you're getting to go against every day. The depth of that room has improved a great deal as well. So in terms of getting better, hard to beat what you guys are doing out there over the last month.
Yeah, I mean, we got the three best route runners, I would say, honestly, in the National Football League, if you add, like a guy like Keenan Allen as well. But Elijah, Judy, and Coop, like they all can run routes, with the best of them. And honestly, I think, when we get further in the season and things like that, I think people will be looking at them as, one of the top receiver rooms, or if not the top. So I think we definitely got great receivers, great DBs, and, we're only going to make each other better out there.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are having a lot of fun with it, and Denzel and you and MJ and Cam. How's Cam doing going into his second year?
Man, he's a beast. I feel like he's a vet already. I feel like he's played 6 years. That's just the demeanor he carries with. Yeah. That's just how he practices. So he's been doing great out there as well.
How about your guy B. Lynch, who got a chance to go to the Accelerator, which is where they bring coaches that are kind of on the radar maybe to become coordinators in the future and give them a lot of experience that they would need to maybe sit in that chair, which is a great honor for him and certainly well-deserved. We know we're huge fans of him here on this program. What's it been kind of like working with him again now, his second year kind of in that room with you guys?
Oh, man, it's amazing. We say it all the time, man. B. Lynch is the best corners coach in the National Football League, and honestly, he's one of the best coaches I've ever had in my life. So it's great to have a guy that has been there, has done that, has played at a very elite level. It just gives us freedom. He allows us to go make plays out there, gives us our techniques, but when it's time to go, he just allows us to play. So it's definitely been an honor to play for him.
Look, you don't have any other experience other than this one, but as you were talking and listening to you talk now, I mean, so many guys on our defense, you're homegrown guys. Your guys drafted here, developed here. There's continuity, same coaches looking around. We've been playing with these guys for a long time, and with that comes, all right, a veteran team that's ready to go. Like let's go right now. Do you sense a different tone with everybody? Just how veteran laden this is, and how you guys have all kind of grown into this team that had a really surprising, considering all the things that happened with the injury front last year. Kind of a surprising season for everybody else. Do you feel the tone of like now is our time?
Oh, for sure. If you look at the best teams that there has been out there, there are a lot of homegrown people. You don't see a lot of guys coming in from other places and then bringing people together because the camaraderie isn't there. So I definitely think we're right there. I mean, if you look at it, I feel like we have returned, I think, pretty much 20 of the 22 starters, other than, Mike linebacker. We got Jordan Hicks now, and then another receiver in Jerry Jeudy. Everybody else is coming back. So I think that's definitely a recipe for success.
By the way, you and Jordan Hicks, quadzillas over there. He's like, I saw him out there. I was like, whoa. Guys, he's in tremendous condition. He's got some big quads like our guy, Mr. Newsome.
Yeah, he's been amazing. You could tell he's played a billion reps of football. So it's definitely great to, losing a guy like Anthony Walker and Sione. Sure. It's great to replace them with another guy who's so cerebral and is a great football player.
A lot of pros.
Just
a lot of pros on the roster. Like we were thinking about this, for a long, and this predates you, Greg, but like for the longest time, you'd look at draft picks, and you're like, all right, he's going to plug in here. There's no room. You got pros everywhere on this thing, yeah. And that's something that you go to OTAs, you go to mandatory next week, like you just notice it. Like there's just a lot of dudes, a lot of pros.
Yeah, I mean I feel like that's the same. Like we just said, man. There's draft pick wise, you got guys able to come in and they don't have to worry about just getting thrown into the fire. Like you're able to sit back, learn, and then when it's their time, they'll be ready as well. Like Miles Harden is phenomenal. I think he's the next, quote unquote Cam Mitchell in a sense, where went later, but everyone sees the potential in him. So I think he's another guy that'll have time to sit behind some of us, see how we work, and when he gets on the field, I think he'll make some plays for sure.
I got to see you and share my congratulations, but what did it mean to you when you got the news that obviously they were picking up your fifth-year option and that you would be here for at a minimum 2 seasons and at a very nice rate?
Oh man, it was a blessing.
I bet.
First, obviously, just to feel wanted from the team that drafted you. Feels like I've been at least trending this way and doing things right, not just on the field but off the field. So I think they see what I bring to this team, to this community, to this state of Ohio. So it's wonderful. Obviously, the money wise, it's another thing. I got a baby girl on the way, so I'm going to be able to set up her future as well. Not only myself, her, and then just be able to help my family as well. So
it's awesome, perfect. Man. It's and you earned it. It's well deserved. So congrats.
Thank you.
Well, it's one of those things too. Like I can't even imagine what age you started dreaming of becoming all of this, and then you start checking off the dreams and say, okay, play big time college football. Yep. Get drafted in the NFL. Yep. Make a living in the NFL, and for all of these things, like, do you allow yourself moments to take a step back and go, wow, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm really doing all of the things that I dreamed.
Man, it's so hard to do because there's just so much more that I haven't accomplished, in my football career, whether that's, winning a Super Bowl, going All-Pro, going to the Pro Bowl, getting another contract. Like, it's so much that I haven't got to. But, my family also does a great job with just reminding me when I am feeling a little down, like, you went this far. You've checked off so many boxes. Obviously, there's some left to check out, but my family helps me take a step back and realize what I've accomplished this far.
Good to have family.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Add a little perspective on things.
So
You get into the daily grind of it and the relentlessness of it, and sometimes it's nice to have people give you perspective.
Exactly.
Healthy.
Yeah, you need it.
And we also had first interception, pick six, no
all
big
that
deal
stuff.
in Baltimore. Check that box
there's
off.
a lot of boxes.
Did we ever settle up with MJ? Have we ever? I know he was after like a Merce for a little while there. Did we ever?
No, we didn't settle up, but
No.
we got something.
We're rolling
I
it
told him
through?
yeah.
Okay.
No, we don't have anything. I still owe
Okay.
him something, so I got
Okay, you
I got
got it.
something for him.
Are we going to get a new competition for this season?
Oh yeah, we have to 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got to you got to get yours this year.
Yeah, no, I dropped a few last year, so I would have been. It's all right. I told him I'm gonna get him this year though.
I love it. I love that.
We had Bubba Ventrone in here last week, and Nathan and I were talking, and we're like, I don't think fans are aware of what's coming with the kickoff. You guys, like, I really don't.
He was
think
out
so.
there today.
You were out there today. They were doing it today.
Yep.
What is it like implementing this and seeing this in action, and what do you think fans can expect?
Oh man, I feel like a lot of more big plays. You'll see a lot of more athletic guys out there being able to use their hands. You'll see some bigger bodies out there being able to use their hands. But honestly, me on kickoff, I feel like it's going to be very hard to block me with 5 yards of so those fast guys, it's going to be very hard to block them. But there's no room to run around. Like, you have to be able to use your hands. But I think a lot, like I said, a lot of more big plays. You'll see a lot of more, I feel like more running back type bodies back there.
Yeah.
Versus the smaller bodies. So yeah, it'll definitely be very interesting. I'm really excited to see first preseason game, like how this actually works.
And then a couple times you had Mike Hall Jr. or Alex Wright running down there just annihilating somebody.
Right, yeah.
Wrap your head around that.
Yes. Well, and it's 10 yards, and to your point, and you're not going to be able to run around. You're going to have to block shed.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get off of blocks, and it does feel like we've been saying it. There will be more kick returns for touchdowns this year than any year in NFL
ever.
history because if they get through, there's
You're
no
not
second
gonna
line.
You're not going to be able to stop them.
Yeah, but you guys, I think we have an just from watching today, I think we're going to have an advantage covering, and we're going to have I think this is going to be a good thing for the Cleveland Browns. Bubba's obviously great, but we've got a lot of talented guys and big-time players like yourself who are willing to go and be a part of this because I think the kickoff now is going to be a play that determines the outcomes of some games this year.
Yeah, and it's great. Like, our organization focuses on special teams. As you can see, we bring in guys like Justin Hardy, Tony Brown. We bring in guys like that. Some organizations don't care too much about that. So I think now you have to start caring about special teams a little bit more because if not, like you said, a kickoff return can determine the outcome of a game quick. Is
it one of those things like when you guys, as the big fraternity of NFL players, like, is it talk of like, hey man, I want to be a part of this? Like guys who traditionally maybe you wouldn't think playing on special teams, or like, man, can I get in on some of this? It feels like it's going to be a fun play.
No, for sure. I just think like with us, we talk about it all the time. Like everyone has a role on this team, and the greatest teams, like they'll do whatever it takes to win. So you'll have your best players out there doing stuff that they don't normally do, but that's what it takes in order to get to where we want to get to.
And I think it's that evolution, right? We've seen the evolution on special teams with the way that this kickoff is going to be. And then you're getting to see, it's so nice for you guys defensively, you're doing the same thing with the same guys for the most part, which is nice. And the continuity of that, the ability to be fast. But you mentioned it earlier, you're seeing some different things from the offense. Through your eyes, what are you liking about maybe what we're going to be doing on offense that might be a departure from what we've done in the past?
Yeah, I just think just some of the routes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just being able to guard some of the stuff has been very interesting. Like, I feel like the ball's gonna be in the air a little bit more, things like that. I just been thinking the offense has been looking amazing. Jameis has obviously been back there a little bit more with D. Watt still recovering, but I thought they've been looking amazing.
Is Jameis one of the most interesting people you've ever met in your life?
Oh man,
he is literally hilarious, like all the time. 7 a.m, it doesn't matter when. Like, And I think that's what we need for our team, like a guy like that that's gonna he's one of those glue guys, like that everyone gravitates towards, and he's been doing a great job leading this football team as well as D-Watt. I think we got 2 quarterbacks that are going to be, some of our greatest leaders this year.
Yeah, we were at the golf on Monday.
It's unbelievable.
He just shot out of a cannon.
Oh yeah.
He's just ready to go, always like. Just observing him, even when it wasn't around us or even seeing him on the golf course. Like
it's just who he is.
It's just who he is.
So Tony Brown, who's in your room, is rooming with him. Yeah. They're like there and they got an Airbnb together or whatever. And he's like that just is who he is.
Like all the time.
Always.
Yeah.
Never not. Like Tony one night, I think it was like one of the first nights that he got here, slept in the facility. So he was on the couch and Jameis rolled in at like 5:45 or 6 because he likes to be the first guy in or one of the first guys in. And he was like pissed that Tony was there and then just like nonstop all day, would not stop. Yeah, all day, nonstop.
But that makes it fun.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you're in, there's some of this can be some doldrums, and all of a sudden you got a guy like that who's uplifting all the time. It's infectious.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, you know how it is, man. Week 13, 14, it's starting to get cold. Like, you're just energy's not there. But when you got a guy like that that's always bringing the energy, like, it'll definitely help, like, us in the long run, for sure.
I want to ask you, because you've gotten the chance to go against him and see it, and see through my eyes that we were talking earlier about the guy who's made a huge leap from year 1 to year 2. Cedric Tillman, to me, looks like he's playing a little bit at a different speed than maybe he was last year. Are you sensing that as well when you're matching up with him?
1,000%. A guy, like I said, man, he's just willing to learn. Like reps, we go after practice every single day. He's doing releases with Denzel, doing releases with me every single day. Reps that he didn't do well on is asking, like, what did I see there? What didn't I see? I just think he's a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, it's hard being a rookie. Like, it's a hard thing. People don't really understand. It's a lot of expectations and things like that. But I think from year 1 to year 2, I can already tell, like, the jump is a lot bigger than what you expect.
Think about yourself as well. Like, you think about what you know now compared to when you were in your first OTAs. Like, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's super. Like, it's night and day. Like I said, coming out here, like, I know what to expect. I wouldn't say practice is easier, but it is easier in a mental state for me now because now I know exactly what to expect.
Well, how many times, too, when you think about it takes reps in the NFLs to get to the point where you got a guy like you mentioned, Jordan Hicks, and I was talking with Zadarius Smith, and he said this about his D-line coach, Jacques Césaire, who played in the league for a long time. Like, they know from a formation a lot of times what's going to happen before it happens. Yep. And you think coming in here as a rookie, I'd imagine there are very few times pre-snap where you're like, I know 100% confidently what's going to happen, whereas now I'm sure you have a lot of recognition based on the split, based on their feet, based on the start of their release, all of those things where you're like, okay, all that information is now second nature to you, right? So that allows you to play fast because you already have, you don't have to ask yourself, well, I don't know what's going to, now you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and then on top of that, it's just like as a rookie, man, I'm coming in like, all right, I don't care what they line up in, I just need to know what I'm doing.
Right.
Like, so you don't care about what other people are doing. You're just like, I just got to make sure I'm doing my thing right and then continue to grow like that. So, like, now it's just, I know what Zadarius is doing on my side. Like, I know where my help's coming from. I know if you line like this, there's only a certain amount of things you can do. So, like, now it's just, like I said, that's why, like, the mental part for me is just so, like, it's so calming being out there now just because I've played so much football.
Yeah.
What is it like having Mike Vrabel prowling around out there?
He's having fun.
Yeah. Of course he's having fun.
Participating.
Mike's football
He's
guy.
doing linebacker drops.
Mike's football guy.
Yeah,
that's what he is. He loves it. Yeah.
No, it's been amazing just having him in the rooms and special teams room, just speaking up. And, you know, I've actually met him before. He's very close to my old head coach and Pat Fitzgerald. So I met him before, but he's just you could tell he's been around a lot of football. He's played football, so he's one of those guys. It looks like he's out there playing football. Like that's kind of the role he's doing. But you know, he helps with a lot of stuff. He's had a lot of great defenses, a lot of great offenses. So you know, it's like we have a second, well, really 3 head coaches on the field with Jim Schwartz, him, Coach Stefanski, Dorsey. Like we have so many just head coach minds. Like it'll only help us this season.
Well, I just was joking with him in the cafe. I was like, "You're having too much fun out there," and it's got to be great for him that he doesn't have to deal with any of the BS of being a head coach, because there are things that no matter how great that job is, there's a lot of things you have to do that are outside of ball or distractions, things you have to deal with. He doesn't deal with any of that.
No,
he's just out there having the time of his life.
Yeah, back to like him being a player.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I feel like. He's kind of like he's reliving again him being a player out there running around doing stuff like that, joking around. So I think he's been having a great time
for his hometown team, no less.
No, he said he
that's a big
loves
deal.
being here.
Right, yeah.
He's
Welsh
loving it.
Jesuit guy. All right, you got OTAs wrap up tomorrow, then mandatory next week, and then you push off. What does the off season hold for you, sir?
Training every single day. I'll be back in AZ with my girl, her family, and just be out there kicking it and
Where
training.
in Arizona? It's right outside of
out
Phoenix.
in Gilbert.
Gilbert. That's right.
Arizona.
Yeah.
So I'll be out as soon as this is over. I'll go out there, go back to Exos and train Monday through Friday and just get ready because now, we're itching closer and closer. So, yeah, just getting my body ready, my mental ready. I already took my trip after the season, so now it's just straight football.
When a schedule comes out, how much do the players look at that? Do you look at that a bit?
Oh yeah, just the first opponent, honestly.
So Dallas at
Dallas.
home.
That's all I looked at. The rest of it will take care of that. But that's the one that's circled because it's the first one. That'll be super exciting.
Yeah.
A great football team, two great football teams going at it, and they got to come play in the dog pound. So I'm super excited for that.
Tom Brady's first game in the booth.
I think we got to wear white for that to make them wear blue.
Yep,
they don't like wearing blue. They always want to wear white. I think you got to wear white at home.
All right,
wear white at home.
Yeah. White at home. Make them wear blue.
Yeah.
Make them wear blue. I like it.
You want white with the white? Are you on the white?
All white?
Oh, I love
all-white?
the all white. I'm a huge fan of the all white, but at the same time,
I'm thinking white with the orange with the white face mask.
Yeah, it's gonna look
like
good.
the
Yeah, it's
Bernie
gonna
look.
look good.
Yeah, let's go that,
like
and
that.
then put them in the blue. So you guys going to wear blue?
You heard that, Coach Stefanski? Make that
Well, he's
happen.
coming in here.
He's going to come. We'll
Make
tell him
that
at
happen.
2:30.
I'll talk to him about it. We'll talk to him about it at 2:30. Good seeing you, buddy.
Great seeing you.
As
Thank
always, Greg Newsome joining us here in studio. Listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. New home exteriors. It's time to update the exterior of your home. Tired of that same old vinyl siding? Composite not only outshines vinyl, it comes in 20 vibrant, maintenance-free colors to suit your style. Imagine a stunning exterior without the hassle. This month, when you buy a whole house of siding from Renew Home Exteriors, you'll receive up to 100 feet in new gutters for free. Renew your home with Renew Home Exteriors. Composite-clad siding, Renew Home Exteriors, superior products, superior service. Visit renewestimate.com for more. It was good hearing from Nick Chubb. We didn't have a chance to talk about that. It's the first time he's spoken since the
It was great hearing from Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was. It was phenomenal to hear from him. And, you know, he had no talk of a timeline, obviously, and justifiably so. But it definitely sounds like Nick Chubb, you know, is progressing. And as we always said, he's somebody you would never bet against. And he is a special guy, special athlete. And I can't wait to see him out there. It's great to see him. When I was out there earlier today, he was, you know, on the sideline watching the whole practice. And I think, as he said, it's so helpful for him to be around football. And I think that's true. And being around the guys, talk about the camaraderie. It's lonely when you're just kind of rehabbing, but to be able to now rehab and then still be around the guys, I think has been awesome for him.
I think when one of the people in the media throng there asked him about when he came out and smashed the guitar and what that meant for the fans, what that meant for the team, but what it meant for him too, because you're right. When we see these guys that are going through the rehab process, you go from like being in the club to being on an island. Hurry. And when we talk to guys who have gone through the injury thing, the hardest part's the mental of like the solo nature of it.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, and it's
really
the isolation of it.
Yeah,
right. You're exactly right.
So it was great to hear him talk. We saw him at the golf outing on Monday, and it was good to see him out there. And he's been omnipresent here in the facility ever since the injury. So, so there you go. That's where you stand on that. We go around the league. NFL Sunday Ticket trial starts today. Here's the claim: the NFL is that they used agreements with broadcast partners to keep a stranglehold over distribution, allowing DirecTV to charge artificially high prices as the sole Sunday Ticket distributor for out-of-market games. Poor Florio and PFT. The only time I ever had Sunday Ticket was when I had DirecTV, and it was
you said
part of
back
it.
In
It
the
was
day.
It's like part of signing up. They'd give it to you for free or whatever.
You'd have to maybe finagle a little bit around it, but they'd get you in there. They'd get you in there. It was a full.
I feel like Red Zone is such a superior product for me.
I'm going to push back on that.
Go ahead.
What you have the Sunday Ticket at YouTube TV now is the superior product.
That's the one with the 4-screen thing?
You can do 4. You can do 3. You get to pick what games you want.
Yeah.
You can have Red Zone and 3 games, so you can bop around and bebop whatever. You can have 2 games, so they're 2 big, and you bop the audio however you want. So you can have Red Zone on one side and the game you really want to watch.
So that's different. That's a different
That's a level of stuff. Yeah. So that is the best. My one, and it's not beef. Beef would be the wrong word. But the one thing that is tough with me on the Red Zone is you never actually get a feel for a game.
But I'll be honest, I'm not watching it alone. I'm watching our game, and then it's the secondary screen.
Well, then that's perfect.
So that's what I use.
Let's say at 4 o'clock, what are you doing?
Then I'll have one game on the main, and then I'll have that on there.
Okay, perfect.
But honestly, by 4 o'clock, I need a break. If we play at 1, I've been on the couch for 4 hours at that point.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not watching the 4 o'clock games. Like, those are going to get a vacation. Yeah. You have to choose. You're either going to watch 4 o'clock or you're watching 8 o'clock. You can't do.
No. And I've gotten to the point now where unless it is a game that I am super interested or impacts the Browns, or it is a Browns game and then I'm there.
Sure.
I don't make it past halftime really of Thursday, Sunday, Monday night. Typically, if it's a game that I'm super into, I'll stick with it. But it has to be a game with stakes, and that typically is going to be something that's happening. Either fantasy stakes, where like it's coming down to this, or some stakes for the
NFL
Browns.
actual stakes.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's funny. You know, you and I grew up in an era where you got 2 games at 1 o'clock, 1 game at 4, and then Monday Night Football, and that was it.
That's right.
So you could only watch 4 games a week.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
There was no Red Zone. There was no direct. There was no Sunday Ticket. There was none of that, and there was no Sunday Night Football. There was no Thursday Night Football. So you got 3 windows of football you could watch. You got what they gave you. Yep. There was a scarcity to it, and I think that's what made Monday Night Football such a monster. Is it was the only game that the whole country watched.
Yep.
Everything else was regional.
Yep.
So you just watched the game that they fed you in your region. But Monday Night Football was the country watched, and that's lost.
You're 100% right.
That is completely lost.
100%.
Netflix has been struggling to sell advertisement for their Christmas games. Netflix is paying $75 million for the 2 games. Their offer is to sell 30-second ads for $400,000, have not had many takers. I think this is, first of all, they are the biggest streaming behemoth. Second's a billionth.
A billionth.
I found it, and I had to watch a lot of Peacock because the Big Ten stuff is on Peacock.
Yep.
I find it off-putting when I pay for a streamer and I have to watch a commercial.
Couldn't agree with you anymore.
I think it's Bush. I do.
Well,
you're sitting there watching it, and I gotta go to a break. Why? What
no,
am I paying
agree
for?
with that. I would use a different word. Given
Bush League?
No, I wouldn't. I'd leave that right out. I'd say it's garbage.
Why?
I head for the mountains.
That's
why.
right. Cameron Sutton signs a 1-year deal with the Steelers. You've never heard Bush League?
Of course I've heard Bush League.
Yeah, I like Bush League.
Yeah, I'm talking about heading for the mountains.
Yeah, the mountains of Bush.
Beer.
That's right. Great ads.
The best.
The best.
One of my favorite things.
Don't you have a sweater?
I do, but
that
I
beer?
also have.
Yeah.
I also have a pool light, a vintage '80s pool house.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Pool light.
Like that goes over?
Yeah, that has the mountains and it says head for the mountain.
Head for the mountains.
Oh, baby. It is.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a treat. When we do a home and home for transformative duck and turkey.
Duck and turkey, then I'll get to see that.
You're gonna get, you'll wet your beak. Literally.
Tua Tagovailoa says he's lost 10 to 15 pounds this offseason.
He looks unrecognizable.
I haven't seen him.
He looks unrecognizable.
Does he really?
Yeah, he doesn't look like Tua. Did you hear? Tyreek Hill said, I thought he was on Ozempic.
Oh, boy.
I think he facially looks different.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, then he did the hair, too.
Yeah, he did a
so
lot.
The whole
changed.
look is different.
Yeah, a lot has changed.
He does not look like the same human.
No.
Boy, it looks like his facial structure has changed.
That's what I'm saying. He does not appear to be the same human. That's exactly right. Now, there could be a variety of reasons.
He looks like a wide receiver to me now.
Looks like a nickel corner.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild. Bill Belichick enjoying his time away from coaching. He visited Croatia, where he met with the president and prime minister, receive a Croatian certificate of nationality. This is your home country.
Yeah, well, you noticed for years he's worn a Croatian flag on all of his hoodies, on any hat they wore. Oh yeah, and so he received the highest honor that a civilian can receive from Croatia. Met with the president, the prime minister, the certificate of nationality. They said, "Yeah, you're in." Whatever you want, home away from home. So yeah, he's been gallivanting around. He's having times like Croatia's the best.
What do we got to do
visit.
to get you and get that type of recognition?
I don't know. I have to do more. Apparently,
come on.
I can't be like Kunu on the surfboard and do less.
Who are
I have to do more.
Who good reference? Who are the who's the Croatian Mount Rushmore? Like famous people with ties.
Belichick.
Yep. Kukoc.
It might be Belichick, Kukoc. Well, hold on. Luka Modric would probably be more popular.
Luka Modric would be. Modric, yeah. He would be up there.
He would be up there. And then it's two. I think Goran Ivanisevic. Won a Wimbledon.
Yep, that's a big one.
And then I think it comes down to either Drazen or Kukoc. And I think Drazen might be more famous. My guess is that's
really tough.
That other spot would probably go to another soccer player. If we're doing we're basing it kind of mostly off sports, right?
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise it would be like Diocletian would be on there because he was Croatian and brought the seat of the Roman Empire to split Croatia. So he would probably be on the Mount Rushmore. Yeah, that feels pretty large. Suker.
I don't know if there is any. I mean, just looking at the greatest.
Suker had one of the great World Cup runs. He was like a one-man goal-scoring machine. This is when they made it, beat Germany, and then lost to Brazil, I want to say, in the semis, back in 2000.
Yeah, he's number 2 on the list. Modric is number 1.
Yeah, so my guess is those two, even if Ivanisevic is a lock, it's probably Suker, Kukoc, Petrovic for Drazen for one spot. I think Modric, Belichick, and Goran are locked in.
I bet for them, Belichick would be out.
I just got a certificate of nationality.
Yeah, but I'm guessing all those guys already got that.
You think they?
The rest
I think
of them
I think they're
got
actually
it. Yeah.
legitimately. They are I don't think they need. I think when you are Croatian, just like
you don't need
a certificate.
Yeah,
of
so
nationality.
Belichick
just
would
are.
be out, and then I think you've got your proper list.
Okay.
Is the way you do that. We'll do a little higher, lower coming up next. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Get your Browns single game tickets now for all the great matchups at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Visit clevelandbrowns.com/tickets. Call 440-891-5050 to purchase today. Time for a little higher or lower, better or worse, presented by
Better or
Keep It
Worse.
Fun Ohio from the Ohio Lottery, offering easy ways to keep gambling fun. Hello, Gibby.
Hi, boys.
They're doing the Pro-Am down at Muirfield today.
I saw the pairings.
Remember our boy at one point was set to play?
I know.
Sad.
How do I get back? Because
I'll talk to some people down there.
Please
tomorrow when
do.
I'm down there.
You're a connected man.
Down there.
Yeah.
And
here.
It's a hell of a list that they had. Like
Yeah.
the one group, it was Anthony Gonzalez, but then it was Peyton Manning and Chris Pratt with Rory for the front nine and then Jason Day for the back nine. They had Michelle Wee was down there, Rob Lowe was down there, Andre Iguodala. They had a ton of ton of people down there, Mr. Segura.
Any pro wrestlers?
You would fill that.
I could fill that quota. Check that box.
Check that box right off. The one that was amazing to me, and I saw his name in there, I'm like, that has to be the same guy, was Fred Ridley, who's the guy at Augusta. So I've never seen him. Like, to me, it almost feels like he is almost like a zoo animal at Augusta.
Yeah.
Like, has anyone ever seen him outside of Augusta? My hunch would be no. I've
Not
only
before
ever seen
today.
him in a green jacket.
Yeah.
So it is Fred Ridley. He is there. No green jacket.
I feel like he
It seems so strange
I
to
feel like
see him.
I feel like he should be golfing in the green jacket.
Should be a green polo.
Yeah, no,
Something like the same.
No, I've seen he's making the rounds, and he was, not.
Boy.
Yeah.
How about that power play? Yeah, I'm going to go play in a pro-am.
Well, how does it come up? Like, how does it?
How
do
good
they
a
say,
golfer
hey,
is he?
I'm sure he's very good.
Sure, he's very good.
But how does it come up to the point of like, hey, Fred, why don't you come up and play our pro-am?
Right.
Like, is he a celebrity at that point because of the Masters stuff? Or, I mean, we know who he is, but like, if you're just Joe Public showing up there, you wouldn't have a clue who this guy is.
Yeah. I'd be like, all right, I'm paired with this guy?
Yeah, who am I with? And then you're like, oh, yeah, he's the chairman of Augusta National. Then all of a sudden it's a much more interesting round. All right, I got another one for you guys.
Okay.
So they put a photo up with the Manning-Pratt group, and there were two caddies.
Okay.
So it was McElroy, Manning, Anthony Gonzalez, Pratt. That was the foursome, and there were two caddies. If you are caddying for that group, what is the expected tip? What's the worst case scenario tip?
So they were carrying for was
There were
it
two
one
caddies? My guess is Rory probably had his own caddy because it was a
And
practice round, like for him. But like, so it's three guys, three bags, two caddies.
I think you're probably looking like $500 a guy for them.
$500 a guy
for them.
I was having a conversation.
$250. I mean, 200 is probably pretty standard.
See, that's I think like the minimum. I had a buddy who's a member there, and he said that the standard kind of like tip your caddy thing there is $120.
Okay,
that's like your standard.
So I think
so. But in a pro-am, and you're those guys,
I could see quadruple that. I could see 480.
I think you're handing them, giving them. I think your $5 is on
That's
it.
what I thought.
I think the minimum requirement would be like three.
I think
or
for
four.
those guys, I think there might be other people in the pro-am that are maybe not like those guys where,
see
a few. I know, there he is. Extension. Extended.
This is my one thing when it comes to the caddy.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Are you helping me? Are you giving me a line?
If you're playing in the pro-am at Muirfield for the Memorial, like it's more of a reflection
I've played
of
the
you
media day at the
than it
Memorial.
is.
No, but
the
he's saying the
caddy.
pro-am.
I'm saying if you're playing in that pro-am, it's your tip is much more a reflection of yourself than it is of the caddy.
Agreed, and I think that's why they would go big.
Yes,
because you would not want anyone
to say
the opposite.
Yeah.
That it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
So if you're Peyton Manning, you give him $500.
It's not worth it. $200 is not worth something.
It's not worth it.
Peyton was
Peyton was cheap. He only gave me $200. I got members that give me $200.
Yeah,
not worth it.
Not worth it.
$5.
See it on down the road.
Even though it's a charitable event,
you still have to tip your
You're
caddies.
tipping the caddy.
You're tipping your caddies.
Probably their number one day of the year, honestly.
Oh, there's no question. Yeah, there's no doubt. And if you draw that,
Yeah, but
group,
just get your head around if like you were worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and then you're like $500. That's like here's $5.
Yeah,
like you don't
doesn't you don't even
it
that's not worth
you're
it.
Not even thinking about
and so then the topic became how much cash does Peyton Manning roll up to the golf course with?
Minimum of 1,000. Because I'm guessing they're playing for something substantial.
So I was even going a little bit higher because of what you just said. You're tipping not only the caddies, but you're going to valet. You're going to you're going to tip at valet. You're going to tip whoever cleans your clubs if they do that.
Yeah,
probably going to tip them a little bit. And then a side game.
You're playing side game, yeah. So maybe 1,000 disposable, 500. So you're coming in there 1,500 cash.
Yeah, that's
maybe 2,000 to be safe.
That's where I was.
Sometimes those guys don't play for as much money as you'd think because it's not about.
It's not about that because there's no number that would make it interesting.
Yeah.
So it's just about
winning,
bragging rights, and winning
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, like there's a lot of played with ultra successful people that'll play for $2.
Yep.
Like it's not about that.
Right.
All right.
It's interesting.
It is, yeah.
I know there's supposed to be some weather.
By the way,
I feel like it's going to be a little cooler this weekend. Could be beautiful down there.
Could be a beaut.
I think you got rain, which
Today,
is customary.
severe weather later today.
By the way, you, the great Cole,
Yep.
and one of the gentlemen who just walked by outside, who's had a wonderful day,
Yep.
are the 3 people in my life who have ever, meaning it legitimately as a term of endearment, have given me a pal.
That blew your mind in the beginning.
Blew my mind because it was my.
Because I'm a big pal guy.
Yeah, you, Cole, and
Yeah. And maybe.
Yeah, because pal to me my whole life had been when my papa, my mom's the official man of the program's dad, if he palled you, if he called somebody pal, that was meant as a great disrespect.
Disrespect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pal was not positive.
Listen here, pal.
Yeah, listen. Yeah.
That one.
Okay,
Yeah.
pal.
Okay, pal. Settle down.
Yeah.
And it can be both.
It can be, but you don't see a lot of earnest, positive
Mine
pals.
are very earnest.
There's no doubt. So is Cole's.
Cole's is very earnest.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does something I never see, which is he plurals
pals.
He's big pals.
Yeah. Hey, well, he's on the
which
group
is from
chat.
Young Guns. Yeah, it's a lot of pals on that.
I miss the Cole. I feel like he
Oh,
was.
I
feel
miss
like
him
it's-
every day.
and I feel like the feeling's mutual.
I know it's mutual.
Yeah.
82 tomorrow down there. 80% chance of rain. A perfect 72.
Excuse me,
on
what percent
Friday.
chance of rain did you
80.
And are you going to be?
I'll be there, baby.
Exposed?
Well, I'll be in some sort of a hut. Would be my guess.
Yeah. Are you going to get yourself a milkshake?
I could tell you the secret of the milkshake.
Okay.
Maybe that's an off the air.
That's an off the air. All right.
I don't know.
I don't know. Is it public knowledge?
No, it's not public.
Well, if it
It's
was
like
a
the
secret,
Soup Nazi,
It's not as hard
with
as you
the whole,
think. Like it's
no, it's a
pretty
milkshake.
recipe.
It's
No, but everyone's like, what do they put in it? These
The
are so
milkshakes
great.
are- yeah.
They are sensational. They are, and they'll make you any kind you want.
And I'll tell you this: if you're not somebody who dabbles in that with any kind of frequency, like it sits heavy, brother. Like if you shake down one of those
Oh,
milkshakes
yeah, you
and
sucked
you haven't
one
done
down
it,
'cause you played
man.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I was just,
Yeah, because they put them in the same cups they put the drinks in.
yeah,
You get a transfusion. It's
Sits
the
there
same,
like a lead
same
balloon.
setup. Yeah. Yeah.
Delicious.
And the weekend actually looks 76, 74. It's kind
That's
of
what I
perfect.
mean.
Rainy on Sunday, it looks like again. But
I spent like 5 minutes this morning watching some Instagram video that somebody put together of all of Tiger's like craziest shots just from the memorial.
the chip on 16, I was there. I was walking with him that day. That's 2012. The par 3.
Par 3.
He is. They always put now they've changed the hole this year. The hole's different now. Jack's always tinkering with it. But at that time, it was they would always put on the last day they would put the flag right near the water.
So like front left.
Front left. And Tiger was on the hill
in the back.
And Jack was on the call and said, "This is as hard a pitch shot as you're ever going to hit in golf, in professional golf." And this was in the final round.
Yeah, if he went long, it would have.
It's done.
Water.
And he stuck it. That was, dude. When
B. Rossi got up and down from that hill with a pin like middle back. It was incredible, huge for our victory.
That guy's clutch, B. Ross.
Yeah.
Here's the. Have you guys ever been to a tournament where he is at, Tiger? Like, did you ever go to Firestone when he was peak Tiger, like on a Sunday?
Yep. Not on a Sunday.
Not on a Sunday, but yes.
It feels like, and I covered 2 of the memorials that he won. I want to say 09 and then 12. He won 5 of them. It would feel like the entire city was at the golf course. Like 2 million. It felt like 2 million people.
And
it was just a swarm of humanity that followed him.
Yeah.
Everywhere he went. And in those days, on the media pass that I had, because we were the broadcast partner when I was at the CBS affiliate, we could go inside the ropes. So you could walk with him, which was crazy.
Yeah.
To walk with him. Now that you can't.
What was the last year that you were down there for it?
For all of the rounds?
Yeah.
15.
Okay. Amazing that you came up with that because I got to watch them play. It was a few years ago, but we went down there and watched, and I could not believe. Do you remember who won the 2015 Memorial? I can't believe this guy won the Memorial.
Is it a David Lingmerth?
It is a David Lingmerth, who's like all of 4'10".
2? Yeah.
And he won the Memorial. He beat Justin Rose in a playoff. His first ever win. He really is
And
not
Justin
done.
Rose had won it before. Justin Rose, I want to say, won it in like 11.
Yeah, he really has not done much since. But
No.
That's wild to me. I remember seeing him, and I'm like, who is this kid?
Yeah.
And he won it. And he is young. I mean, he's 36 now, so he won it in 15.
9 years. Yeah.
So he was like mid-20s.
As a kid.
That's got to be one of the more, like, you think of the names that are on that trophy, and then you throw a David Lingmerth in there.
It was always very much like,
It's like a major.
Firestone and the Memorial were right there. Like the best fields, everything.
Yeah.
Speaking of the best, there he is.
There he
He'll
is.
join us coming up next. Coach Stefanski. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. The Browns Daily. This is a big day, man. We got our head coach, Kevin Stefanski, joining us here.
Big day for him as well.
Very big day. The contract extension for UNAB, locked and loaded, signed. You think about your path, and you think about being an assistant all the years you were, and then you say, all right, I really want to be a head coach. That's the goal. But then part of it is, okay, now I want to go to a place and make it my home. When you interviewed here, and you did it twice, what was it about this place? Because you could have done that gig, but what was it about this place that felt like it could be home for you? And quite honestly, it has become home.
Yeah, it's interesting. You oftentimes take these jobs and jobs in general, and you're thinking about such short-term goals. As we all do, you put the blinders on, you think about what's in front of you, and that has served me well and served us well. We kind of don't think long-term. You think about what's in front. Obviously, we're extremely blessed and fortunate to be able to work here with Andrew and work for D and Jimmy and with JW and Whitney, and this is a great setup. And to your point, Bo, it is home. I am raising 3 kids here, so it is very much home. But I don't take the long-term approach ever. I kind of walk in the building and figure out what needs to be done that day or that month and that type of thing. But I don't want that to also be dismissive of how much I realize how blessed we are being here.
But the process of taking this job, was there something that clicked for you that said, yep, that's it?
Yeah.
If you can go back to that time. It's been a minute.
Do you have a time machine? Where's Doc Brown? Gosh, things, so much changes over the years as well. I knew this when we talked about this job, right? When you talk about, hey, going to be a steward for this franchise. I mean, think about that. The Cleveland Browns franchise and what that means. Number one, what it means to the NFL community, but what it means to Northeast Ohio, what it means to Brownies backers all over the world, and not just in this country, all over the world. I just think about the to be entrusted with that job is something that meant so much to me, just with the history of this place. I make sure our team knows of the history about this place and the players that have come before us, the coaches that have come before us that have really laid the groundwork. So that's what I think about, just the rare opportunity at a storied franchise like this.
Yeah.
One thing you've learned, I'm sure, in your time in the league is that you need continuity to have sustained success, but you need sustained success to have continuity. It's the old chicken and the egg. Mm-hmm. That has not been something that has really been in the playbook for the Cleveland Browns since maybe the late 80s, early 90s. When you took this job, I'm sure on some level that was a great challenge for you to sit here today knowing that you and AB have signed those extensions and that for the first time we will have that stability in this organization. What does that mean to you?
I mean, you said it, Nathan. You have to earn that. You have to go win football games. You got to go put a product on the field that you're proud of from an organizational standpoint. So we in no way feel like the work is done, far from it. I'm very, very confident in my partnership with Andrew. He's does an outstanding job, supports me in 1,000 ways on a daily basis. So we're excited to get back to work, but it's not in no ways are we internally, externally feeling like we've accomplished anything yet. We got a lot of work to do.
You want to win that Super Bowl.
We do.
Yeah. That's the goal.
And all 32 do.
Yeah.
Also, and all 32, you've heard me say it, you can talk about it till you're blue in the face and until you get it done. You got to work at it. And that's what, I'm appreciative of these players that we have here. They know what the goal is. We talk about it, and it's okay to put it out there and what you're here for. But that in of itself is not going to get it done. You have to put in the work.
You mentioned the players right there, and I've had an opportunity. Obviously, I get to talk to them. I'm very fortunate in that regard in my job. But there's a joy to being at a non-mandatory, a voluntary OTA that I have not seen really in my time here, and it started to ramp up. But I feel like this year, you have guys like Zadarius, for example, 10-year vet. If he wants to be here, great. If he doesn't, you're going to get from Zadarius Smith. He's overjoyed to be here, to come put in the work and to be around his teammates. What does that culture feel like for you on the inside? And I know it's always a work in progress, and you said it best. If you're staying still, you're not getting better. You want to keep that going. But it feels like there's a real joy out on that football field.
There should be, and we get to whistle while we work right now. What we talk about, Nathan, is we want the off-season program to be safe, competitive, and fun. We do want to have fun. This is voluntary. If maybe the fun part is not as necessary when it becomes mandatory, but if these guys are coming in here on their own volition,
they want to,
and working, we want them to have fun. So we make sure that the atmosphere this time of year is focused on a group that's working their butts off, but we are definitely having fun while we're in the building.
Jameis has fun.
Yeah. Yes, he does. Yeah.
It's remarkable. We saw him at the golf outing, and I mean, he's so shot out of a cannon every day. He's just such an infectious personality. How well did you obviously everybody knew of him, but in terms of because Deshaun's getting back health wise, and so now you have this guy who's this magnetic leader who's there to help along the way and be so supportive.
When you're talking about free agency, you do so much work on these guys and the draft, any part of the player acquisition period. You talk to other coaches, you talk to former teammates. So I had a pretty good sense of what Jameis is all about. Now, it's one thing to hear it, and it's another thing to see when he gets in this building.
Early.
It's early. He's in here early. He stays late. I get to watch him work. I get to watch him be around his teammates. He brings an infectious energy to every part of this building. I mean, you will see him hanging out in the equipment room. You're going to see him hanging out in the cafeteria. He's hanging out talking to the grounds crew because he just has that personality where he wants to lift people up. So it's fun to be a part of that.
Yeah.
It most certainly is. It is not dull. He was in the group behind me after our show ended. I got to go play a little golf out there, and at one point broke out in song.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It's just like, okay, all right. Well, so in addition, obviously, to everything's going on the field, and we'll get back to that in a second, but there is a lot of exciting stuff going on with the Keepers Foundation, and you've got 2 big events coming up, one tomorrow and then the following Thursday as well. So June 6th, June 13th. We'll start with the first one, Under the Lights with Coach Stefanski and friends, flag football tournament held at Cleveland Brown Stadium. That feels pretty cool.
Pretty cool, yeah. And the support for the foundation's been incredible, and I appreciate you guys in helping.
Sure.
But just being down there tomorrow night, I've talked about it before, there's nothing like playing in your stadium of your home team. And I can remember as a kid getting down to Veterans Stadium, which no longer exists, but being on the field as a kid, that's a huge, huge deal. So
the green concrete of Veterans Stadium.
Yeah, it was concrete that was spray painted green, and it had the seams from the baseball field in there too. Our place is much nicer.
Yes, significantly
so, and it's not a safety issue for our kids like the vet would be. But to get those guys and girls, kids, boys and girls down there playing flag football, which we think is such a great part of our game, we're just excited about that, and it's an opportunity for us to have some fun with those kids, give back to the community, and then also raise some awareness for our foundation, what we're doing there. So that's tomorrow night down at the stadium.
And tickets still available for that.
Yes.
They go to thekeepersfoundation.org, and you can scoop that up. Getting into this, I mean, it's just unbelievable stuff that you're doing. Then you got a big one coming up on June 13th as well, Coach.
Yeah.
This one is at Lago East Bank. The live auction is we're locked and loaded on that. We're sold out, right?
Yeah, we're sold out. People in the community, the response has been incredible, and we're excited about it because it's going to be a fun night. So I think people are in for a very, very unique evening. Some of the live auction stuff you're not going to find anywhere. And then,
quite literally.
No,
I mean you're not. And the auctioneer, extraordinaire Nathan Zagura will be down there doing his thing, talking fast.
Yeah,
leading that live auction. So I appreciate that from you, Nathan.
Oh, it's an honor to be.
Peer pressure for him comes pretty easy. You're going to get a lot of eye contact.
He saw it at the Browns Foundation when we were for the flight to Vegas. We had a standoff, and then you're just working them.
And it's going to be hard. We'll have some of our players down there. It's going to be hard when Myles Garrett is on stage auctioning off one of his photographs.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we give a little sneak peek on some of these live auction items?
The live auction items we're excited about. The first one, we're giving away my game worn, my Nike Dunks, and the call sheet from that Jets game.
Okay, so this is ridiculous. Let me just say, this is insane. I've never heard of anything like this. I've been here a long time. Who wouldn't love to have a call sheet? You have it from the playoff clincher, your call sheet. That's
so cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's so the call sheet is framed. It's yours. It's got all the notes on there from that night. And then those kicks, courtesy of our equipment staff do an amazing job. Corey Gillisley is and I should say Bree Zook is also kind of, they're the main experts in the Nike shoe world, and they supply me with some pretty cool ones. So those were the Dunks I was wearing that night, and we'll see, those will be available next Thursday night.
When you say your notes on there, so after a play, can you give us an example of maybe what a note would be?
Yeah,
Joe Flacco
circled in red. Call
nice
this play. It's going to score a touchdown. Those type of notes. No, I think you'll see us as coaches. You're crossing plays off, or you're circling plays. Hey, I want to get back to this one, or you're writing in the margins, if you will, and saying, okay, remember, I want this one from the left hash so we can work against this corner. Those type of things.
This is.
So
if
cool.
you are First of all, if you're at the thing, obviously you're a Browns fan, a football fan. Do you know of anybody who's done this? Like, I've never heard of this. Period.
I don't. And it goes back to, for me, Nathan, it goes back to, this is an easy one for me. If I can use this and we can use this to raise some money for a foundation that's looking after underprivileged and disadvantaged kids, we all win.
Of course, there's no doubt there's going to be a lot of winning in this one. I want secure with John Frayne. We would need to make sure there are no Steelers, Ravens, Bengals employees trying to win this auction, even if it's for the kids. We'll get that price.
That's
up
a
from
sneak peek
Cleveland
for the auction, for the live auction. Can we talk about the silent auction?
Please,
stuff?
Let's do so.
Yeah.
And I say that because this is now live, and there's some
Live right
really,
now.
really cool stuff on here. So listeners, and you have friends or family that may be interested in this, please go check this out. It's on thekeepersfoundation.org. You can check out some of these items on here. We're very blessed to have a suite down at Cleveland Browns Stadium, and we're going to make that available on some really cool nights that are coming up, and I'll start with August 10th versus the versus the Packers in our preseason game. We're going to give up our suite that night, so 14 people come down, check out the preseason game. We'll get you on the field before the game. I'll spend some time with you before the game, and then I'll go right to Billy Joel and Rod Stewart.
One night only.
Music fans out there, one night.
It's one night only.
That's right.
Come on down. You can have the suite for that night as well. Again, this is all on the website, thekeepersfoundation.org. But then the big one that I think you're excited about.
Oh, baby.
And our buddy The Miz will be there.
Yes.
That's our suite for the WWE SummerSlam. So it's a suite that holds 14 guests. I was a WWF fan.
Sure.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Junkyard Dog, JYD.
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't know as much about Oh, man. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
That's one of those ones
good.
where you wish you had a camera
Yes.
that way so
That
you could
was
have
good.
seen that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
listeners. That's
Sorry.
inside
Yeah.
baseball there.
Yeah.
Yep.
The biggest of L luminaries. That's pretty good.
But
pretty good.
those that are interested in WWE, again, our suite will be available and is available to be bid on right now.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
That is if you want, you got a kid who's a wrestling fan, you yourself are a wrestling fan. We've seen what the get-in is to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
It is going to be a massive, massive event. This is an opportunity to do it first class. This is
First class, and
Yeah.
again, and guess what? You're helping the kids.
helping the
You know
kids.
what I mean? Like, it's for a
So I
good
said,
cause.
George Marathon, score one for the kids. That's what we're all about right here.
You were on with us when you launched the foundation, Coach. Now that this is your first summer through it and your first
Yep.
events that you're doing, when you guys worked through the game plan, how active were you in that? I know your family obviously
Yeah.
as well, but how active were you in making sure that this went the way that you wanted it to go?
Very active. And I think so much of what we're doing here with this foundation, just if I can spend 1 minute on it, the keepers is the idea is that we are our brother's keeper, our brothers and our sisters' keeper. So we are trying to look out for the ones that need us to look out for them the most. And that's kids in our community that are either underprivileged, disadvantaged. So we're highlighting people where this money is going right into our community to help these kids. And that was our goal. That was our goal in putting together the flag football for tomorrow night. That was our goal in this evening. And the idea behind this evening was let's get a bunch of people together. Let's have a totally unique, fun experience for people that come in and give us, are willing to donate their time, donate their money to be with us. And let's have something unique. So as we talked through some of these auction items, we want it to be unique. We want it to be fun. Down there, the silent auction item, which is available right now, you can get a signed jersey. So it's the big three. So you got a signed Nick Chubb jersey, a signed Jose Ramirez jersey, and a signed Donovan Mitchell jersey. So that's live right now.
Okay. Yeah.
But again,
That's cool.
For us, we're like, okay, we want this foundation, we want this night, we want all of this to be consistent with our messaging of let's have some fun, let's do some really cool stuff for our community.
And you got the chef's table at Fahrenheit with Rocco Whalen.
My guy,
for
Rocco.
6. Oh, and that place is awesome. Food's awesome. The kind of presentation.
The first text
Elite.
I got this morning when that news went out was from Chef Rocco Whalen. That's my guy.
You gotta like
That's
that.
pretty good.
Yeah, you gotta like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, there is.
There is.
This
We
is
can't
fantastic.
talk about one on here, but
Yeah.
there is one on here that if you're there that night,
That's going
It's
to
an
be
attention getter.
That's a real attention getter.
That's an attention
I mean,
getter.
you mentioned on the lives as well. You mentioned the call sheet. We're going to have a 1-of-1 photograph from the 1-of-1, so signed and framed photo from the private collection of Myles Garrett, who is not only the Defense Player of the Year but also dabbles as an amateur photog, and he's going to be there.
He will be there in attendance.
So that number,
awesome.
you're going to have to go ahead and get that number up, and then. You love Il Rione. We know
So
this.
do you.
It is well documented. Likewise.
You know,
yes,
I've never
indeed.
had it.
Oh, dude. Best
Hey,
pizza in the city. Hands
you can
down.
bid
You
on
can
it.
win
Make
it.
a bid.
10 guests
There we
joining
go.
Coach at his favorite pizza joint in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is just ask Coach. So that'll be awesome. And then we are going back to the Greenbrier. This is incredible. Join the team for training camp, which includes 2 rooms, 2 nights at the Greenbrier. You and your guests will also have a one-of-a-kind access to attend training camp practices as guests of Coach Stefanski. And these practices are not open to the public. And you'll get to play golf at the famous Greenbrier Golf Club, the Old White, where they've had the only the Ryder Cup and the Solheim Cup. So
That place is cool.
And it is amazing. I mean, it's a great vacation destination, period. But for a Browns fan to get to do this, forget about it. It's outrageous. This is going to be good. This is going to be fun.
And that's, again, it's a night out by the lake is next June 13th.
Yep.
We'll make sure it's bigger next year so that more tickets are available. It's sold out really quickly, and the support in the community has been incredible. So much, much, much appreciated, and special thanks to you guys for your help.
Oh,
So,
our
you could
pleasure. And yeah.
You could sell out the stadium, I think. With these
Maybe that's
fans.
next year.
Maybe next year we
yeah.
do that.
And the
Hey,
silent
man,
auction live right now at thekeepersfoundation.org.
That's right.
So
I
get
knew
in there, get bidding.
We knew we liked you the
Yeah.
very first time we interviewed you at the Combine, and we had quarter zips the Monday
The
when
Monday
we got back.
we returned
Those quarter
from Indy.
zips have gotten a lot of mileage.
Those
Yeah.
are good.
Oh, I
I
still
rock
rock it.
mine. It's
Oh,
gorgeous.
yeah.
It's
There's no
fantastic.
doubt.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys.
So thrilled to have you, and you and AB continue on, and a big couple of weeks for the foundation. Coach, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate
You
it.
listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. That's a show, kids. I don't know what you want. Everything you want right there. There was one. That is a top 5 non-on-camera moment of this show.
5
that happened. Top 5.
It's on the Rushmore, so I'm dropping it to 4.
That's fine. 4. It's an all.
This is why we need, though, at some point to go back to the original.
The original
set where the camera would be shooting. Yeah, you would have seen it.
You would have seen it. Yeah.
I don't know if I liked what happened more or the delight that it gave the biggest L.
It was the second.
It's
the second.
How excited it was Dennis Miller levels of self-enjoyment.
There's no question.
I'm like, yeah, I just crushed that. I just killed it.
His appreciation for us loving it was very
That was a great moment. That was one of my favorite moments of my career.
All right. We're back tomorrow. Next Level is next. Thanks for listening. Cleveland Runs Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.